Hi there, my name is Valerie, and I'm 29 years old. For what feels like an eternity, I've wanted to share this story. But because of legal restrictions, I was silenced until now. Now, with the shackles removed, I can finally speak my truth, not just for myself but as a warning to my mother-in-law. Felicia, if you're listening, I don't want you near us ever again. It all started innocently enough. Adrian and I met because of our mothers. His mother, Felicia, and mine, Veronica, were longtime friends who reconnected after years apart. Over coffee one day, they realized they both had single children and, like seasoned matchmakers, decided to set us up. Fast forward a week, and Adrian and I found ourselves sitting awkwardly across from each other in a cozy little coffee shop. At first, the situation felt staged, like an awkward rom-com, but as the minutes turned into hours, the walls came down. We bonded over our shared love of action movies and pizza, losing track of time as the sun dipped below the horizon. That day ended with a shy goodbye and a promise to meet again. And we did! The very next week, we dove headfirst into an epic action flick followed by, you guessed it, pizza. Those dates became our ritual, and over the next 2 months, I found myself plunging, head over heels in love with Adrian. How could I not? His eyes would light up like fireworks every time he saw me. He listened, really listened, to everything I said, and would surprise me with little things I mentioned in passing. His thoughtfulness was overwhelming, his humor irresistible, and his kindness unrelenting. I was smitten. So much so that I took a leap of faith and asked him to be my boyfriend. When he enthusiastically said yes, we couldn't wait to share the news with our mothers. Both Veronica and Felicia beamed with pride, gushing about how their matchmaking skills were unrivaled. It seemed perfect, until the cracks began to show. Felicia, once warm and welcoming, grew cold. Distant. Her offhand comments, barely audible yet sharp as knives, cut deep. I confronted her, desperate to understand why she had changed, but she always dismissed me with a wave of her hand, saying I was imagining things. I couldn't bear it anymore. One day, I confided in Adrian. His reaction? Anger, pure and protective. He promised to address it. And whatever he said to Felicia worked, at least for a while. Things went back to normal, and for the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. 2 blissful years later, Adrian and I tied the knot in an intimate ceremony surrounded by our closest friends and family. But happiness has a way of attracting shadows. Shortly after our wedding, tragedy struck. Felicia's home was consumed by flames due to faulty wiring. Miraculously, she was unharmed, but she was left homeless. How could we turn her away? We opened our doors and welcomed her into our home. For a year, she lived with us, and during that time, Adrian and I flourished in our careers. Everything seemed perfect. We were in such a good place, we decided to start a family. When I found out I was pregnant just 2 months later, we were ecstatic. But the joy was short-lived. Felicia's controlling nature slowly emerged. Pregnancy hit me hard, morning sickness, swollen legs, and relentless fatigue made simple tasks unbearable. Yet Felicia refused to understand. Instead, she berated me for not keeping up with household chores. One day, after a particularly grueling day at work, I came home and collapsed onto the bed, pain radiating through my body. A short nap offered brief solace before I was rudely awakened by Felicia, yelling about her unwashed laundry. Valerie, why didn't you do the laundry today? I have nothing to wear. Disoriented and aching, I shot back, why didn't you do your own laundry? It's not my responsibility. It is your responsibility as the host, she snapped. I couldn't believe my ears. I'm literally in so much pain right now. Are you seriously picking a fight over laundry? Oh, come on. Pregnancy isn't that bad. You're just exaggerating for attention. That was the final straw. Fury erupted like a volcano. Get out! Get out of this room, out of this house, out of my life! How dare you accuse me of faking my pain? You have no idea what I'm going through. Felicia's face paled. She stumbled out of the room, leaving me shaking with anger and tears. Moments later, Adrian came rushing in, his concern etched across his face. He pulled me into his arms as I sobbed, letting the storm inside me subside. Once I calmed down, I told him everything. Rage flashed in his eyes, but when I begged him not to confront her out of anger, he softened. You never have to bear this alone, he said gently. We're a team. I'll talk to her, and you'll be there with me. Together, we confronted Felicia. Adrian laid down the law, respect his wife or leave. She apologized, promising to change. And for the remainder of my pregnancy, she stayed in line. When our daughter Ava was born, she was our everything. Adrian and I were overjoyed, and even Felicia seemed genuinely happy, for the first time in a long time. But peace doesn't last forever. Ava had just been born, and the sleepless nights were already catching up to me. Don't worry, Mom said with a gentle smile. I'll take care of the baby. You go get some rest, Valerie. I hesitated, cradling my precious little Ava. I don't want to be away from her so soon. Trust me, Mom assured me, her voice soft yet firm. You'll need this rest. Soon enough, you'll thank me. I'll take good care of her. Reluctantly, I agreed. All right. But just for a couple of hours. Then I'll take over. That sounds fair, she replied warmly. You rest now, and I'll do the same later. Thank you, Mom, I murmured, the weight of exhaustion finally pulling me toward bed. With that, Adrian left for work, and I surrendered to much-needed sleep. But peace was fleeting. 2 hours later, I woke to the sharp cries of Ava echoing through the house. Panic gripped me. What was wrong? The sound was coming from Mom's room, or so I thought. When I got there, I realized something was off. I knocked on the door, calling out, Mom? Is Ava okay? No response. I tried the handle, it was locked. My heart raced. Why wasn't she answering? Fear mixed with frustration as I banged on the door. Felicia, open up! What's going on? After what felt like an eternity, the door creaked open just enough to reveal a sliver of Felicia's face. Her expression was cold, detached. Felicia, what are you doing? Let me see Ava. She raised an eyebrow, her tone icy. I'm teaching you a lesson. You can't rely on Adrian for everything. It's time you started taking responsibility. What? My voice cracked with desperation. This isn't the way to teach a lesson. Give me my baby right now. Felicia didn't flinch. Finish your chores, and then you can have Ava back. The longer you take, the longer she goes hungry. This is for your own good. Her words cut through me like a blade. Fear replaced anger. My stitches still ached, my body was weak, but none of that mattered. Ava needed me. What do you want me to do? I choked out, tears streaming down my face. Felicia listed the tasks like she was reading a grocery list: dishes to wash, the house to vacuum, the bathroom to scrub. And you'd better be done before Adrian comes home, she sneered. Oh, and don't even think about telling him, or I'll make things worse for you. I nodded, my voice too broken to argue. Pain coursed through my body as I tackled the chores. I popped painkillers to keep from collapsing, biting back sobs with every scrub and sweep. My heart shattered at the thought of Ava crying, but I was too afraid to defy Felicia. Hours dragged on until, mercifully, Adrian came home, 2 hours early. He found me on my hands and knees, scrubbing the bathroom floor, tears streaming down my face. "Valerie," he exclaimed, rushing to me. "What's going on? Why are you doing this?" At the sight of him, the dam broke. I sobbed uncontrollably as he pulled me into his arms, stroking my hair and whispering soothing words. When I could finally speak, I told him everything. Adrian's face darkened with fury. "Stay here," he commanded, his voice like steel. He stormed to Felicia's door, pounding on it with the force of a thunderstorm. "Felicia! Open this door now!" When she did, her surprise was evident. "Adrian? What are you doing home so early?" "I came to surprise my family, but instead, I found you tormenting my wife and child." "What were you thinking?" Felicia's face twisted into a mockery of concern. "Oh, come on. I was just trying to help Valerie be a better wife and mother. She needs to learn responsibility." Adrian's voice was like ice. "Help? That wasn't help, it was cruel. You crossed the line, Felicia. I want you out of our lives. Now!" "You can't be serious," she cried. "Adrian, I thought you cared about me." "I did. But not anymore. You've broken my trust, and I won't tolerate this." Felicia's voice wavered. "I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please, don't do this." Adrian turned away, unmoved. "It's too late. You'll face the consequences." He handed Ava back to me, his expression softening as he whispered, "You and Ava are safe now. I promise." True to his word, Adrian filed a lawsuit against Felicia. The evidence from the baby cameras he'd secretly installed was damning. Months later, Felicia was sentenced to 6 months in jail. As she was escorted out of the courtroom in handcuffs, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief. For the first time since Ava was born, I could breathe. Adrian and I focused on healing, finding solace in our love and the joy Ava brought into our lives. Felicia eventually sought counseling, but I never let her near us again. We chose to build a brighter future, one filled with love, strength, and the hope that the shadows of the past would never darken our lives again.